You can't expect new results with an old mindset. That statement sounds simple, but it's one of the hardest truths most people will ever face, because changing results means changing the way you think, and changing the way you think means admitting that some of your beliefs, habits, and comfort zones are holding you back. And nobody likes to hear that the biggest obstacle to their future might be the way they've been living their present. See, a lot of people pray for better money, better relationships, better opportunity, better peace. But they keep the same thoughts, the same attitudes, the same excuses. You cannot think like a survivor and live like a champion. You cannot think broke and expect wealth to show up. You cannot think fearful and expect confidence to magically appear. Life doesn't work that way. Your mindset is the engine, and your results are just the destination. If you don't change the engine, you'll never reach a new place. Most people don't fail because they aren't talented. They fail because they don't believe they're capable of more. They talk themselves out of opportunities before life ever has a chance to test them. They say things like, people like me don't succeed. I'm too old, I'm too late, this is just how life is. And every time they say it, their mind accepts it as truth and builds a life around that limitation. Your words shape your reality long before your actions do. An old mindset will always try to protect you, not elevate you. It wants you safe, not successful, comfortable, not growing, familiar, not fulfilled. That's why change feels scary. Your mind is wired to keep you alive, not to push you into greatness. So the moment you decide to step outside what you've always known, your mind starts sending warning signals. Doubt, fear, anxiety. Those feelings don't mean you're doing something wrong. They mean you're doing something new. You have to understand this. The version of you that got you here cannot take you where you want to go. That version did the best it could with what it knew, but now it's time to upgrade. New levels require new thinking. New blessings require new behavior. You can't keep approaching life with the same perspective and expect life to respond differently. A lot of people wait for their circumstances to change before they change their mindset, but it's the other way around. Your mindset changes first, and then your circumstances follow. When you start thinking differently, you start moving differently. You speak differently. You choose differently. And over time, those small internal shifts create massive external results. An old mindset says, what if I fail? A new mindset says, what if this works? An old mindset says, I'll try. A new mindset says, I'm committed. An old mindset looks for excuses. A new mindset looks for solutions. Life doesn't reward intentions. Life rewards decisions backed by action. You also have to be honest about the environments you allow to shape your thinking. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, doubt, gossip, and limitation, it will become normal to you. You will start thinking small without even realizing it. You cannot build a winning mindset in a losing environment. Sometimes changing your mindset means changing who you listen to, who you spend time with, and what you feed your mind every day. Your old mindset may be rooted in your past. Maybe you grew up hearing what you couldn't do instead of what you could. Maybe you failed before and decided not to try again. Maybe life disappointed you so many times that you stopped expecting good things. That's understandable, but it's not permanent unless you decide it is. Your past explains you, but it does not define you. You don't owe your future to your past mistakes. The problem with an old mindset is that it makes comfort feel like success. As long as the bills are paid, as long as nothing is wrong, you convince yourself everything is fine. But deep down, you're capable of more. That quiet dissatisfaction you feel sometimes isn't ingratitude. It's potential calling you higher. Ignoring it won't make it go away. It'll just turn into frustration. You have to retrain your mind to think long-term instead of short-term. Old thinking wants quick results, instant gratification, and easy wins. New thinking understands that real change takes time, discipline, and patience. It understands that delayed gratification today creates freedom tomorrow. You stop asking, what feels good now? And start asking, what builds the life I want later? Changing your mindset also means taking responsibility, not blame responsibility. Blame keeps you stuck. Responsibility gives you power. The moment you accept that your choices shape your life, you also accept that you have the ability to choose differently. That's not pressure, that's freedom. And here's the part most people don't like. Changing your mindset will cost you something. It might cost you old habits, old relationships, old versions of yourself. You may outgrow places and people that once felt like home. That doesn't mean you're better than anyone. It means you're becoming better for yourself. A new mindset doesn't mean you'll never struggle. It means you'll struggle differently. Instead of quitting, you'll adjust. Instead of complaining, you'll learn. Instead of giving up, you'll get back up. You stop seeing obstacles as proof that you should stop and start seeing them as proof that you're on the right path. Every major change in your life starts with a decision to think differently. Not someday, not when things calm down, not when you feel ready. Right now, the moment you decide that your old mindset has taken you as far as it can take you and you're ready for more, discomfort is a signal, not a stop sign. Most people misunderstand discomfort. They think if something feels hard, scary, unfamiliar, or painful, it means they should stop. But in reality, discomfort is often life's way of telling you that growth is required. Nothing expands without pressure. Nothing transforms without resistance. And nothing great is ever built inside a comfort zone. From the moment you try to change your life, discomfort shows up. You feel it when you wake up earlier than usual. You feel it when you say no to things that used to distract you. You feel it when you take a risk and step into something you've never done before. That uncomfortable feeling isn't there to harm you. It's there to shape you. The problem is, most people turn around the moment they feel it. Comfort feels safe, but comfort is dangerous. Comfort keeps you average. Comfort keeps you repeating the same year over and over again. Comfort convinces you that surviving is the same as living. When life becomes too comfortable, growth stops. That's why sometimes everything feels unsettled just before something big happens. Discomfort is often the doorway to your next level. Think about every meaningful change you've ever made. It didn't start with ease. It started with uncertainty, with fear, with doubt, with questions you didn't answer to yet. The job you wanted, the skill you learned, the person you became, none of it came from staying where you were. It came from moving forward while feeling unsure. Discomfort exposes your excuses. When things get hard, the truth comes out. And that's when you find out how serious you really are about changing your life. Anybody can stay committed when things are easy. The difference between those who grow and those who stay stuck is what they do when it gets uncomfortable. A stop sign tells you there is danger ahead that you should not pass. Discomfort is different. Discomfort tells you that something inside you is being stretched. Your patience, your discipline, your courage, your faith. If you quit every time you feel uncomfortable, you'll never find out what you're capable of. Your mind will always try to pull you back to what feels familiar. Even if familiar is painful, even if familiar is limiting, even if familiar is destroying your potential. That's because the mind prefers what it knows over what it doesn't. So when you step into something new, your mind starts panicking. It starts telling you stories. This isn't for you. You're not ready. You should go back. Those thoughts are not warnings. They are resistance to change. Discomfort is where confidence is built. You don't become confident by thinking about it. You become confident by doing hard things repeatedly until they don't feel hard anymore. Every time you face discomfort, instead of running from it, you send yourself a powerful message, I can handle this, and that belief becomes strength. Most people pray for growth, but they complain when growth feels uncomfortable. You cannot ask for more and then reject the process that brings more. Elevation requires separation. Refinement requires pressure. Strength requires resistance. You don't get stronger by avoiding heavy weight. You get stronger by lifting it. There will be moments when discomfort feels lonely. When you don't fit in with the people you used to fit in with. When your old habits no longer satisfy you, but your new life hasn't fully formed yet. That in-between space is uncomfortable, but it's necessary. It's the space where identity changes, where you let go of who you were and step into who you're becoming. If you're feeling uncomfortable right now, that might be a sign that you're exactly where you need to be, not lost, not failing, just growing. The problem is, nobody taught us how to sit with discomfort. We were taught to escape it, to distract ourselves, to numb it, to avoid it. But avoidance delays transformation. Discomfort teaches you discipline. It teaches you patience. It teaches you how to trust yourself even when results aren't immediate. Some of the most important breakthroughs happen after long periods of uncomfortable consistency. Not dramatic moments, just showing up when it's hard and choosing not to quit. You have to stop interpreting discomfort as rejection. Life isn't pushing you away. It's pulling you forward. It's asking you to rise to a higher standard, to develop skills you don't have yet, to build character you can't get in easy seasons. When you stop running from discomfort, your life changes. You stop asking, how can I make this easier? And start asking, what is this teaching me? That shift alone will separate you from most people, because most people are controlled by how they feel in the moment. Growth demands that you move based on where you're going, not how you feel today. Discomfort won't last forever, but the results of pushing through it will. Every level of your life will demand a new version of you, and that version is built in uncomfortable moments. Not in applause, not in comfort, in discipline, in struggle, in showing up when quitting feels easier. Discipline will take you where motivation can't. Motivation is powerful, but it's unreliable. It comes and goes with your mood, your energy, and your circumstances. Some days, you feel inspired, unstoppable, ready to conquer the world. Other days you wake up tired, discouraged, and questioning everything. If your progress depends on how motivated you feel, your life will move forward in short bursts and then stall for long periods of time. That's why discipline matters. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. Discipline asks what needs to be done. Most people wait to feel motivated before they act. Disciplined people act first, and motivation follows. They understand that feelings are temporary, but habits shape destiny. You don't build a better life by doing what feels good. You build it by doing what's necessary, especially when it doesn't feel good. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is intentional. Motivation might get you started, but discipline keeps you going when the excitement fades. Every long-term success story you admire is built on routines no one sees, sacrifices no one applauds, and consistency that doesn't look impressive in the moment. The grind is quiet. The results are loud. Discipline is about showing up on the days you don't want to, the days when progress feels invisible, the days when quitting seems reasonable. Anyone can push hard when they see quick results. Very few people can stay consistent when results are delayed. That's where discipline separates people. A disciplined life isn't about being harsh with yourself. It's about respecting your future more than your present comfort. Every time you choose discipline, you're choosing the person you want to become over the version of you that wants immediate relief. You're saying no to distractions so you can say yes to purpose. Discipline requires structure. Without structure, your life is run by impulses. You wake up reacting instead of directing. You move based on urgency instead of importance. Discipline creates order. It decides ahead of time what matters, so you don't have to negotiate with yourself every day. When you eliminate constant decision-making, you conserve mental energy for what truly matters. One of the biggest lies people believe is that disciplined people are always motivated. They're not. They're just committed. They don't rely on excitement to carry them forward. They rely on systems. When motivation disappears, systems remain. That's why discipline lasts longer than inspiration. Discipline will expose your excuses. When you commit to a standard, you can no longer hide behind how you feel. You either show up or you don't. And that accountability, as uncomfortable as it is what builds self-respect. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your confidence. Every time you break one, you weaken it. You don't suddenly wake up disciplined. Discipline is built through small, repeated choices. Waking up when the alarm goes off, finishing what you start, doing the work even when no one is watching. Those small decisions don't seem life-changing in the moment, but over time they compound into a completely different life. Discipline teaches you patience. It teaches you how to work without immediate reward. It helps you understand that meaningful success is rarely fast, but it is always earned. You stop chasing shortcuts and start trusting the process. And that mindset shift alone changes everything. There will be days when discipline feels boring, repetitive, unrewarding. That's when most people quit. But boring consistency beats excited inconsistency every time. Success isn't built on intensity, it's built on endurance, on the ability to keep going when nothing feels exciting anymore. Discipline also protects you from your worst impulses. It keeps you from self-sabotage. It helps you say no to things that feel good in the moment but cost you later. Freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you want. It comes from having the discipline to do what's best. When you look at people who seem lucky, what you're really seeing is disciplined behavior repeated over time. You don't see the early mornings, the missed parties, the quiet sacrifices. You only see the outcome. But behind every outcome is discipline. The beautiful thing about discipline is that it's available to everyone. You don't need talent. You don't need connections. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need the willingness to do what needs to be done consistently. Discipline is a choice you make daily. At first, discipline feels heavy, but over time, it becomes empowering. It stops feeling like pressure and starts feeling like control. You realize you're no longer a victim of your moods or circumstances. You're in charge. Motivation will hype you up. Discipline will carry you through. Motivation might change your day. Discipline will change your life. And when motivation disappears, and it will, discipline will still be there. Quietly building the future you said you wanted. You don't need approval to pursue your purpose. This is one of the hardest lessons to accept, because as human beings, we are wired to want acceptance. We want support. We want validation. We want people to clap for us before we even start. But the truth is, if you wait for approval, you may wait your entire life and never move an inch closer to who you were created to be. Most people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they seek permission from people who don't have the courage to chase their own dreams. They look around and ask, is this okay? Instead of asking themselves, is this what I'm called to do? And every time you look outside for validation, you give someone else control over your direction. Purpose doesn't come with a vote. It's not a group decision. It's personal. What burns inside of you may not make sense to anyone else, and that's okay. It wasn't meant to. If everyone understood your vision, it wouldn't require faith. It wouldn't require courage. It wouldn't require growth. There will always be people who doubt you, not because your dream is impossible, but because your courage makes them uncomfortable. Your willingness to try reminds them of the risks they avoided. So instead of cheering, they question. Instead of supporting, they criticize. Not because you're wrong, but because you're brave. Approval is addictive. Once you start chasing it, you begin shaping your life around other people's comfort instead of your own calling. You start editing your dreams so they sound reasonable. You shrink your goals so they don't intimidate anyone. You delay your growth so you don't outgrow the room. And slowly, without realizing it, you betray yourself. You have to understand that being misunderstood is part of the journey. Every person who ever changed their life was misunderstood at some point. They were called unrealistic, dramatic, irresponsible,